Hello, everybody out there in Facebook land, TikTok world, YouTube, Instagram. All the places are going to be a live video or a recorded version thereof. Welcome to the broadcast booth, everybody. I am Monty Anderson, your host here at 412 Productions, The Art of Monty Anderson. Hopefully, you all are doing great. Hopefully, you all survived Memorial Day. And you all are having some fun out there. I know it's bright and early in the morning. Here it is just before 4:12 when we normally go on. Just kicked it off just a hair bit early. So hopefully you all are doing great, like I said, and hopefully you all are having some fun. Some of you might be getting ready to go to work. Some of you might be off for the day. Who knows? Who knows? But whatever you do, make today great. Make today great for yourself. Make today great for your friends, your loved ones, all that good stuff. So, how we doing out there? Did you all survive Memorial Day? Those of you that are here obviously did. Well, hopefully you did. A lot of people get Memorial Day confused. They make it about the living soldiers, which we appreciate it 100%, but it's not about us. It's about those that gave the ultimate sacrifice and didn't make it home for whatever reason. Just like, my grandpa, he didn't give it all, but he was in the military and he passed away now. And so, and then my son, he, never got to see action, but he was taken way too early and he was given full military funeral, and which was pretty cool. So, those are the two people I'm remembering right off the bat, even though there's a lot that I have to remember that didn't make it home from deployments and things of that nature. So, just be mindful for those that did not make it home. And the POWs, MIAs, and all that good stuff that's happening still. And then the ones that they're getting to bring home now from back in those days. So just be in remembrance of all of that. Hey, Kobe, what's going on? Thank you for the likes. The live is here. Don't forget to like, share, and follow as you get here. That helps us out, bring more people in, and to listen to us talk about horror movies, sci-fi movies, comic books, comic book artwork, my comic book artwork, and all kinds of cool stuff that we talk about here. And if Casey was here, he'd already tell you. We don't talk about two things here. We don't talk about religion or politics, because once you start talking about those two items, people start losing their damn minds, and it just never goes anywhere good. Sometimes, I mean, people have their opinions, and that's cool, you know. But once you start degrading people and things of that nature on a regular basis, it ain't cool. Casey, welcome to the booth. Man, I was just talking about you in a good way. So I said if you were here, he'd know exactly the two topics we don't talk about. But welcome to the show, buddy. Hopefully you're doing good. Hopefully you got that coffee in hand and are ready to rock and roll. Today is talking about Memorial Day and all those that have gone on before us that have served, in present day, and then those that have served in present day. Just like I've got several buddies that didn't make it back from deployments um, after we were deployed together, and the very next deployments they did not make it home, for one reason or another, and those are the ones that are to be remembered during Memorial Day. That's why you got your 3-day weekend. So, for those of you that did get your 3-day weekend, Now, some of you don't get a 3-day weekend depending on what area of job you perform. If you're a retail worker, most of the time you don't get those 3-day weekends, but specialized places, city businesses, city organizations, things like that, all those goody good things. So there you go. All right. So a lot is happening. Um, During the weekend before Memorial Day, we ended up taking down an entire remainder of sheds and an old chicken coop. So we got a lot of new material for our homestead. Um, some new tin, some new hardware cloth, chicken wire, all kinds of wood. And so, that's going to help us in the rebuilding process of a lot of different things out there for our chickens, our geese, our ducks, all that good stuff. Um, the pigs pretty self reliant. They do what they want for the most part, get into their little tiffs and all that good stuff. There he is. There's Casey. What up, bud? And like you said, yes, no Pope and no Trump. There you go. And that was a chore. It took 2 trips. We got it all torn down in day one, and a lot of it loaded up on day one. But we went back for a second trip, which included a one of those small, probably like 6 chicken coop little enclosure type things. It looks like a little house with a little ramp that comes down, and it's got a little yard that they can run around in. It's not very big at all. So we're gonna repurpose that one for her rats that she's got. Um, Basically, she's hospice for rats right now, and because they're old boys, and so we've had them for what, a month and a half, 2 months now. And one of them has passed that we did have, but we knew that was inevitable because just like a lot of your critters, their life expectancy isn't very long. And so, we've had them for about 2 months now, and we've lost one of the four that we had, and it's already buried in the little pet cemetery that we've got back there, that our chickens go to, that our ducks go to. I don't know if the pigs will be going in there or not, but whenever they go, but we'll see, we'll see. Because I know she'll want to do something with them at that point in time, because you can't technically. Sorry, guys. Oh, it's early. I had to take the girlfriend to work at 2 this morning, and tried to catch a little nap before the show. It didn't help very much. So, but so we got a lot of new material. Update on the roof. Those of you, I didn't post it on here. No, sure don't. But thanks for asking. Gramps, huh? Cool. If 50 something years old is Gramps, that's awesome. Because I don't have any grandchildren. So there you go. But yeah, the girlfriend. Had 2 ex-wives. Thanks for asking though. And I still go to the gym every day. You know. So there you go. Have a nice day there. Currently, what a name. But anyway, um, so I got a lot of new material and an update on the roof. I did notice. I got up there, looked it all over. Yeah, absolutely. Because let's see, second ex-wife, no children with. and she was a straight up narcissist. So I ended that relationship. First one was with the kids, and all of that ran out a long, long time ago. So I'm not paying child support or alimony. So yeah, I've got money. Yeah, there you go. So if you are a roofer out there, or have ever done roofing in your life, which most of you probably haven't, because I've done a few roofs in my day, you put some what they call that felt paper in there, right? Oh, nobody says I've got my sanity. I was in the military, so I've never had my sanity. And I grew up in the 70s and 80s, so, you know, definitely don't have. 30-year estimator, cool. And so, felt always goes down underneath your shingles, right? Yeah, the vapor barrier, the felt paper, whatever you want to call it. Because they use different materials nowadays, and I get that, but a lot of people still use the felt paper to go down. And you put that down underneath the shingles, right, Mike? That's the first thing that goes down after the wood is laid on the rafters, unless you're taping down your route your board lines in between. Yeah, okay, dude. We got a lot of condescending dicks on here today. Wow. All right, that's cool. And so they lay that down on top of the wood, and then you tack it down, and then you put your shingles over the top of that. Well, this company that did the job 4 years ago, as I'm looking at it now, I can peel on this flat roof section that they did. It's a little slope section of roof right here. And good morning, Jessica. How's it going? And well, if I were in my area, I would. They'd do a lot better job than this person did. That has a good reputation. I can peel up the rolled out because they did a single roll of shingle, the roll out shingle on this flat portion of roof. And as I'm peeling up the entire edge from the flashing, I see absolutely no barrier under there. Yeah, they've got the shingle on the main slope of the roof, and then on this flat portion that goes over my office, they put the rolled out shingle out there. They didn't put the regular shingle up there. And then I go farther up on the slope portion of the roof. Nina, hey, what's up? And from there, I'm not seeing any vapor barrier or underlayer there either. And so I'm wondering what they did for their 10 grand that they did to put the roof back on here. Because I've already had trouble. Yeah, the rolled roofing. And I've already had words with this guy after they finished, quote unquote, the job the first time. That was 4 years ago. He didn't like me calling him out on because them putting the roof on was a stipulation for buying the house, and that was through the companies. That wasn't by me. So Oh no, there was permits, there was inspections, but apparently he didn't do it right because whenever he came out and talked to me personally face to face after I called him out on Facebook and everywhere else I could call him out because he didn't even leave any real drip edge with the shingle. It basically goes to the flashing and stops. I'm in Arkansas. And so there's no drip edge that allows the water to go, off the edge of the shingle and down away from the house. So it runs straight down the boards on the sides of the houses for most places. And so I already know he did it wrong. Oh, I'd have to check with what kind of a warranty they gave to the mortgage company at the time because they're the ones that had all the work done through this company. And like I said, 4 years ago when I had words with him, he was just like, came out and he said, "Oh, if we would have done it right to begin with, it would have been a $20,000 job." So once you say for us to have done it right, you're already telling me you did it wrong. And so I've been dealing with that, and now I've got a nice little leak happening the in the office now, right about where my ceiling fan is. And so I was trying to find it the other day, and I'm noticing that there is a soft spot. Oh, right about possibly where two boards meet together, if I had to guess. And so I'm going to be talking to this guy again. And like you said, go after his bond, which I very well could. And like I said, I've got to make sure that there was a warranty given because most roofs have a warranty up to X amount of years. And it's only been 4 years because 2022 is when the roof was put on. And so I know there's a statute of limitations at some point in time, but yes, it's not gonna go unfettered because I shouldn't be having a leak after 4 years, especially if there is no, you know, underlayer up there. And since they did shoddy work, in my opinion, all the way around, but I wasn't the one paying for it. It was included into the mortgage of this place, and so it was the mortgage company that paid for the roof. So I got you, Mike. Thanks for the info. And I knew there would be some roofers out there, or like you, an inspector out there at some point in time. Because even my initial roofer buddies told me that it wasn't correct in the beginning anyway, whenever I showed a walk around. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. It is what it is, and we'll see what happens. Because, like I said, it's not going to go without being addressed anymore. I've never played the game, don't know who's in there. So, the other Mike, I have no idea, dude. You tell us who you would crack out there. They all look a little young to me, so, I ain't cracking nobody right there. But you enjoy cracking a game character, if you will. This young generation wants to crack everything. All right. So, how are you all doing out there? Really? Are you tired? Are you awake, ready for the day? Are you getting ready to go to bed because you've been up all night? What is going on with you guys? Like I said, with Memorial Day having come and gone, we did a little cookout yesterday, and in honor of the fallen. And like I said, my grandpa being one, he didn't fall in battle or anything like that, but he served in World War II in Korea, and never really talked about his war stories that much. He would talk about a few things here and there, but or they're on it, one or the other. I see a lot of the mug shots float through for the Fort Smith area all the time because of some of the groups I'm in, and it's just quite humorous. It's like I know that guy or I know that girl. I used to bust them when I was in the working world, or just some of the stupid stuff people get busted for anymore now. But it is what it is. Monkey D, welcome to the show. Welcome to the chat. I've drawn your character before, and and then my son falls under that category as well. Oh, and my mother just got her urn in for her husband. Um, Looks pretty cool. It's a gone fishing one. Got some nice little sunset colors on it, and it's got a guy fishing on it. And it says gone fishing on it, and then it gives his information. And so she's still, you know, dealing with all that aftermath right now. Still deciding what she's going to do. If she's going to stay out there or not by herself, which we've already told her is not a good idea. But she's stubborn, and it's again of that generation, that era, uh, from the 1940s. And so we'll see what she wants to do. We support her decision no matter what, but being 83, getting ready to hit 84, and not in the greatest of health, you don't want her being out there by herself. Yeah, she's getting checked uh, on a regular basis by friends of ours and hers that check up on her and let us know what's going on. Not to mention her in-home therapy and in-home nurse that comes out to check on their progress of make sure you're doing your exercises and all that good stuff. Because once you hit that certain age, it's like you slow down on the exercises a lot if you're exercising at all. Me, I'm hoping to be exercising until they put me in the ground or put me in the flames. One of the two, you know. Just because I've already got my aches and pains from being in the military. And it's not like I go super hard and heavy, but you want to maintain so that when you do get older, you don't have as many, aches and pains anymore. I mean, you might have some new ones pop up and things like that, but that's inevitable. Everybody's going to get them. And if Roy, if you just joined the chat, welcome to the broadcast booth. Finally waking up. Congratulations. On that note, I don't know if you did. Oh, there he is. Goyd morning, brothers. What the hell, dude? You got some Goids going on. They have gout medicine for that, or Goyd medicine, I think. It's going great, Roy. How are you this morning? You finally get your siesta out of the way, and you decide to come on over and grace us with your presence this morning. You're doing good. You got your V8 or water or Mountain Dew or whatever you're drinking this morning in hand. I know, I know, Casey over there's got his coffee in hand. I'm sure some other people have some coffee in hand. Me, I don't do the coffee thing. It's been gross to me ever since I was a kid when my grandparents and parents tried to get me to drink that nasty stuff, just like tea. Don't do that either. So, you're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. So, but welcome to the booth, man. Welcome to the booth. So, we talk about all kinds of stuff here. Like I said, from horror movies to sci-fi movies to thrillers. Let's talk about the Joker Part Two. I have Starbucks caramel brew coffee this morning. No cream, no sugar. Well, there you go. Very awesome. What did I miss so far? A lot of stuff. Um, you can go back and watch the first part, the first 24 minutes before you got here, 25 minutes before you got here. Because we're not going to do a recap, man. Come on. Do better. As Rodney told me this morning as I was driving away, do better. I was like, no, no. I was going somewhere. Bum, bum, bum. Train of thought just left the station. Oh, there we go. Joker Part Two. Because you're a grown ass adult, you can go watch the show your fucking self. There you go. Um, as I tell the one person that's always asking me, "What was your show about?" Go watch the fucking show and you'll know. Thanks for the gifts out there. That 8 cents will go back into all my printing processes for prints like that right there. Yes, that is a print of my original artwork. This is the original, one of the original artworks down here below. That's what I do. Besides homesteading, I illustrate. And so, Joker Part 2. Joker, the first one with Joaquin Phoenix, was good. It wasn't the greatest expectations just because of their visionary that they put behind it. Um, it was good because it showed the the mental illness side of his character. Part two should never have been made. It felt like there was no plot to the whole movie other than his trial, and then throw in a little musical because we got Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn. I did not like the movie at all. Yeah, there was a lot of hype for it, and it was just like I can see where the hype train is because if you're a Gaga fan and all that stuff, hey, they threw her in the movie as Harley. She didn't even do a great Harley. And I'm trying to figure out where they pulled the storyline from. Period. I just think they made it up 100% because it was horrible. At one point in time, I stopped the movie and was like, "Good God, how much longer do I have on this movie?" And luckily, I only had 12 minutes left, and that was still a long 12 minutes by the time it was all said and done. Good job, Roy. Good job. Does it have mayo on it? Asking for the whole group. Yeah, definitely not. I mean, and I understand. Like I said, Joker one was good. I get why they made that one, but then number two, once it rolled around, it just lost all luster. You know, and that's the bad thing about a lot of the DC movies is that they have potential, but they just don't get it sometimes. Now their animation is spot on. Their animation is awesome. They've got Marvel beat hands down with the animation, except for the X Men. I mean, just like their Constantine, all the Batman animations that they do, and it's just like once they get to their movies, it's just like they push it to a point where it just sucks. I mean, Suicide Squad was not a great movie. Period. Um, Peacemaker, eh. Green Lantern with you know, Ryan Reynolds, who moved over to the MCU. Well, to Sony, and now will soon be in the MCU since they're all together now. That was a okay movie, just because he did the comedic value to Green Lantern that had it in there. But he never put the full potential of the ring together in the movie, like you see in the comic books. And then if you watch a lot of the older stuff that DC produced in movie wise, it's just bland. You know, it's dry. They did do some great movies with, of course, Michael Keaton's 1989 Batman, 1992, and then once they let Tim Burton take the reins, it just kind of went too colorful, if you will, too neon. Um, and then Christian Bale's version was great. Loved that on his trilogy, the Dark Knight trilogy, and then even the Batman with you know Pattinson as the Bat is a good movie. Wonder Woman, okay. Aquaman, eh. Both versions. The Justice League until they did the Snyder cut, which is 4 hours long. Yes, I love the Dark Knights. Because Christian Bale performing the whole atmosphere of both Bruce Wayne and Batman, great mix. Batfleck, eh. I wasn't a big fan of Ben Affleck as Batman or as Bruce Wayne, either one. And like I said, the whole Justice League to me was just throwing spaghetti at a wall and hoping it stuck. You know. Well, that's my kids' era is '90s kids, so that's cool. You know, some of us in here are from the '70s, '80s. That's when we grew up, '80s and '90s, before we got into the real world and became adults, and had to work. Um, so yeah, like all the stuff I grew up on, all the great cartoons, all the great TV shows. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I was born in the '70s. We got one guy in here that was born in the '60s, another guy born in the '70s, and so on and so forth. We're a mixed crew here. But everybody can be a fan of something. You know, you've got your favorite TV shows, you've got your favorite movies, you've got your favorite comic book characters, you've got your favorite characters in general. Doesn't have to be comic book or otherwise. Um, but me, I'm a big comic book fan. I have been ever since I picked this comic book up and read it for the first time. Right here, Uncanny X Men, right there, number 183. This was the very first comic book I ever touched as a kid and read in the '80s. You know, and that's how I became an Uncanny X Men fan. Was this right here? And yes, I bought this one later on in life. Found it at a decent price. Couldn't pass it up since it was the very first comic book I read that got me hooked on the Uncanny X Men. And so that's been my collector's journey ever since. And I have sold a collection that I regret selling. because it had tons of autographs. I was like 65 to 70 issues away from having the entire run of Uncanny X-Men before they killed it in 2002 with issue 584, I believe. And then they did these 600 issues of variant covers. I think they did about 12 of them, if I'm right. I could be wrong on that, but they did a lot. And then that was in the new X-Men run, volume 2 or volume 3 that they did. And it was like, excuse me, they never should have ended that. Yep, Nightcrawler, he was in that episode, in that comic, in that issue. And but yeah, no, the nostalgia with Nightcrawler is pretty cool. And that's why I'm doing my comic book in a way like they used to do back in the day, back in the 80s and early 90s, when they would do the 4-issue miniseries to get you a little bit more in depth with the character, to know where they came from, who they are, what they do, what their powers are, and things of that nature. And that's why I'm shaping my comic book to be a 4-issue miniseries myself, just because of that nostalgia from the 1980s, you know, and the early 90s. And they kind of stopped doing that at a certain point. Then they started doing, the 12-issue miniseries, or the 18 or 20 maxi series, where you had this limited run all boiled down into X amount of comic books. So, and it's just like, that's the nostalgia that we need to get back to when it comes to comic books and things like that in the indie world. And a lot of people miss that mark. They just want to keep doing run after run after run, which is cool, which is okay. It keeps their audience interested and keeps their audience fed with a new story or a continuation story from the last issue. But sometimes it doesn't need all that. Sometimes it just needs that compounded, short run book that people can get to know your character. And if they like your characters enough, then branch out. Because hopefully they like my characters enough that I can branch out from the main character. Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, it's been in the works for about a year and a half now. I've been doing the writing on it before I start doing the illustrations. And then, because I'm doing it all, I'm doing, oh, you fucking TikTok, man. I am not telling people to go outside and get anything. I did not did I try to redirect anybody to go get my merchandise outside of TikTok at that particular moment? No, I sure as fuck didn't. But we've got a restriction now, which we're going to appeal, because that's what we do here. Because their AI algorithm is a joke. But I appreciate that, Dylan. But yeah, it is a supernatural feel book. It's got true life creatures in it, such as cryptids, Bigfoot, aliens, those type things, chupacabras. Um, and yes, I believe in all that. I do live in a haunted house, for those of you that are just joining us for the first time. And I do have a few haunted items sitting right directly behind me. Um, and I wish they would make their presence known right now, but they're not going to, because they're jerks like that. I've got Maribel, which is right here, a little uh, doll that is supposedly haunted right there. She has what's called a cat ball on top of her head. If you don't know what a cat ball is, that's what this is. They did design these originally for cats, but people in the ghost hunting world found out that ghosts enjoy using these. So whenever you turn it on, it lights up, and if it gets moved, that's the only way it's going to light up. And I usually set one around my desk while I'm on live, because we've got apparitions coming through here. We've got plenty of orbs coming through here while I've been on my live shows and things like that. Now, Maribel has set that cat ball off several different times. She actually set it off while it was laying down here on her dress, um, while it was sitting here next to me off camera, of course, several different times. And then we tried to get her to do it while we got her live here, but she won't do it. And then you see the gold feet right here. That's Diego. He is a trapped in a gestures. His name is Diego. He was taken out at some point in time back in the day. The woman that sold it claimed he was a demon, but if you know his name, he's not a demon because you just took away all of his power. So those are my two known haunted items right here, right now. We do have a Dybbuk box up there as well that is, I can't say completely sealed, but it's sealed. And I used to have a cat ball sitting on top of it as well. And um, so then I just started putting the cat ball on top of the zombie dice right there. Boom. Because I collect dice as well. But yes, I live in a haunted house. I've got a lot of great EVPs in here, in the office especially. And then there's been a lot of disembodied voices throughout the house that you get plain as day. Literally, I had one day I had to go outside to check to see if my neighbors were fighting in the backyard. That's how clear it was. But nobody was out there. I was, you know, there alone all the way around. They were inside, and their house is pretty muffled. You can't hear anything if they are yelling at each other on the inside, which I'm pretty sure they don't. Anyway, but that's just the type of people they are. But yeah, so we got all kinds of cool stuff that happens here. I've seen, full body apparitions. I've seen shadow people. I've seen things move, poltergeist activity. So there you go. And so that's the type of stuff I'm incorporating into my comic book. And then it's also got your real world stuff, such as your witchcraft in it, your warlocks and wizards and witches, of course. And then you're gonna have your folklore stuff, which is your fairies, your gnomes, your woodland creatures and things like that. So those are the type of things that my comic book is going to relate around. So I'm hoping it's enjoyable for everybody. Just because I want something a little different, even though it's hard to create something different with as many comic books that are out there currently. Not to mention the the new stuff popping up on a regular basis that incorporates some of the same themes that you're thinking about doing, that I've been thinking about doing for a long time. And then I'm working around all the commissions that I'm doing. So it puts my project on the back burner a little bit, which is okay. I mean, it gives me time to think more about the direction I want to go with it, how the characters are going to interact, and the conflicts that they're going to get into. And since I'm not a writer 100%, and I'm writing it all myself, not using Chat GPT, not using any AI shit out there to create my story for me, because I could go the route of another creator, uh, friend of mine who ditched all of humanity, um, to create his AI created comic book and videos. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that guy because I can do artwork. I can draw. I can paint, you know. And I want that authentic feel. I don't want that cheesy, crappy AI slop that gets produced by so many people out there in the world. And AI videos are running rampant way too much anymore. And are they getting better? Kinda. But every commercial on TikTok now for the TikTok shop shit it's like you can straight up see it's AI. They dip a whole paintbrush in the rust killer paint, but yet when they pull it out, it's only on the brush itself, you know. But yet they've dipped it all the way up to where their fingers are, basically. So there would be paint all the way up there, and then that car paint remove or cleaner stuff that they put on the cracked broken paint, and it automatically just fixes everything. Yeah, no, it's not how it works. It does not take out broken paint. It does not cover, you know, your bad scratches and things like that. Sorry, folks. And then so many other AI stuff that they put on here. I mean, so many AI videos, so many AI generated women on here, on Instagram. Facebook is getting just as bad with the AI stuff. I mean, like I talked about before, AI music. There's a whole list of music that you can find that's AI generated, and you can tell once it hits if it's AI generated or not. And then you can go look at the artist page on like Apple Music, and if it shows you that they've done like 2 or 3 albums in 2026, and we're only what 5 months into the year, and you've already created 2 or 3 albums, complete albums, that's not physically possible unless it's AI generated. And then you get those characters out there that don't even know that they're AI generated, that think they're a real entity. And then if you watch any of the commercials on Tubi or anything like that that pop up that are mainly for the Jackpot Go and all those money making apps, every one of those are AI generated anymore. And it's just like, good God, can we stop already? And I know it's not going to. I know it's never going to stop because people love their AI generated stuff. There's a whole chat GPT thing going on right now that creates your little character, and it gives you a whole synopsis of your life story or whatever the fuck it is. And it's like, why does everybody want to jump on a trend like that? Why does everybody want to make AI so relevant when its best uses are for technology industry, finding cancers or any kind of disease in the body before it happens, if it can detect it at its smallest molecule in the body? That's great applications for it. Not stealing, you know, traditional pencil to paper artist, paintbrush to canvas artist, fingers to wood holes in your flute or recorder or wind instrument or your guitar. It's not made for making music with either. But so many people are doing it. Even some of the people from my generation are embracing it. Because I had a buddy who was like, watch for my new country album to come out. And it was all AI generated of him walking with his guitar, singing a song. It's like, Casey, you're a traditional artist. What the fuck are you doing, dude? Why the hell are you using AI right now on your page? And so I just don't get it. That's just me. I'm not a proponent for it. I never will be. And that's why I'm happy that most comic book conventions, like I've talked about many, many times before, are kicking out anybody that sells AI artwork or has AI generated stuff with them. And it's just like, I'm super glad that you guys are doing that because it takes no brains to type in what you want into an app. And no, not you. It was a friend of mine. Not you, Casey. There's another Casey. No, Casey Campbell, a friend of mine that I went to high school with. He did a whole video on himself. He was like, "Get ready for my country album." It was a joke, but he still used the AI app to create his country album. Um, and he's a great artist. And he, for him to use it in that way instead of drawing it up himself, it's just like, why, dude? Why did you do that? And then that puts a slap in the face to another friend of ours that we went to high school with that is a musical artist that has been in bands most of his life. And no, we're behind. We're about 1,000 behind. We're at 28.7 thousand likes, which still puts us in the popular live category, and uh, which is much appreciated for everybody that's throwing in the likes and the shares and the follows. Because right now we're not going to be out to the world because of the AI here and its wisdom that stated that we were trying to send people outside of TikTok to get merchandise, which was not the case. I'll do that off air. But AI is just running too rampant out there. And now they're already talking about, AI movie actors because they're gone. Like Val Kilmer is supposed to show up in a whole movie uh, done in AI, and he's not the only one. And I remember CGC, which was the predecessor to AI, if you will, where they did animation on the films, and you could see it big time. Just like I think it was Batman 1992. They did a down shot, a bird's eye view, and he's turning from the balcony, and you see his cape furl. It was either 89 or 92. I can't remember which one it was, but you could see the cape furl, and it was cartoon esque because it wasn't real. So that was the AI of the day, and AI has been around for a long time. Don't get me wrong, but they've been tampering with it since the 40s and 50s. But now, while I was at my mom's house waiting for the funeral to happen and all that good stuff because I was there for a week. Um, she had on the news and it was showing a bunch of robots in China right now that they're trying to, you know, get introduced into the world. And they're showing it playing sports and playing soccer and other things like that. And the clumsy little suckers. And then they start showing the more sophisticated ones that are starting to look more human with the rubber masks and all that good stuff. It's like you can still tell right now, but pretty soon there's going to come a point where you can't tell. You know, and you could be going to school right next to one, or you could be working hand in hand with one, and not even know it. How crazy is that going to be? You know, finding out that this other employee that's next to you is a robot, and they're making just as much as you or more, if not more. You know, so just let that sink in, and have artificial intelligence standing right next to you while you work at your workplace. Yeah, absolutely. And there's a lot of it that I know the girlfriend likes some of it, and she'll put it on, and it's just like, no, we got to change the channel. Good grief! And it's like, no, you got to switch to the next song. Seriously, come on, I can't handle this. And then there's some that is getting better. I can't completely rule some out because you know it's still soulless, but they're trying. They're trying to get better with it. And it's just like with all of the videos and all of the artwork that's being created Chat GPT and or AI. Chat GPT does incorporate AI with it. it's it's trying to get better, but it's never going to get there. It's never going to have the full soul that you put into something, into a piece of artwork that you pour countless amount of hours into. Whereas somebody just comes in here and goes, "Oh look, I'm creating art. I want this. I want this. I want this. And I want it to look like this. Okay, enter. Oh look, there's my piece of artwork." No, no. So kudos to you, comic book conventions out there that kick out AI generated creators, 100%. Um, and and that's why I feel for these creators that call themselves that. What are you going to do when you get to a comic book convention and you can't even draw your own character? What are you going to do if a gig calls you out to perform and you're the headliner to a big band and you're AI generated music? What are you going to do? Pull out your synthesizer and just hit run on your keyboard and just stand there because you didn't sing the song, you didn't write the music, all you did was key prompt in what you wanted the song to be about, and boom, it created the whole song for you. Just let it sink in. Just let it sink in. I mean, if you can't draw it, if you can't perform it, why are you trying to make it? Because you don't want to pay somebody to do it. Just like all these gaming ads that don't want to pay real people to be in their commercial, even though they could because of the money that they're making off of the game itself from all the people putting in their money because, oh, well, I need to pass this level. So, oh, I haven't passed this level yet, but if I just keep doing this, $5 here, $10 there, $20 here, they're making money hand over fist with all these games. And people just buy into it. And a lot of them, a lot of the games are now being created by AI, some kind of an AI program. And yes, I still haven't listened to my recorder from back in the day yet. I gotta find my player. I don't know where it is. I've got an actual tape player running around here somewhere. I just don't know where it is. I know where my mini one is, but that won't fit that one. Sorry. But I've got another one running around here somewhere. It does work. We've already put batteries in it and tested it. It does work. So we found it at the Savers at the thrift store, basically, and got it for like $5. And it's the same one that the Warrens would have used back in the day. And if you know who the Warrens are, you're in good company. And hopefully you know who the Warrens are just because of the movies that have been produced about them. So that's this generation, not my generation. We knew who the Warrens were back when the Warrens were the Warrens. So there you go. Um, but yeah, that is it in a nutshell. Roy, you can go back and listen to the first part of this, the first 25 minutes that you missed, because you're a grown ass adult and you can do that. And I'm not going to spoon feed you. Sorry, buddy. But yeah, hopefully you all have a great day today. Hopefully you do something productive. Hopefully you do something exciting. I don't know what you guys have planned for the day. Me, it's working out at the gym, uh, doing yard work, more work on the coop to get it more secure for the coming, if you will. Um, let's see what else is happening. Got chores to do, got artwork to do, all that goody good stuff. Trying to think if there's anything I'm missing. Don't think there is. But anyway, I do appreciate each and everybody. I do love each and everybody out there. I appreciate you guys stopping in, checking out the channel for the short, brief moment that we were together. It was great. It was amazing. It was a fun time, as usual. Give me some topics to talk about, and we will go from there as well. 33.1 thousand likes on our radio dial. We're not on the radio yet. But anyway, I appreciate each and every one of you guys. And as I like to say, as I leave you guys, we will catch you on the flip side. Have a good day, everybody.